one of the ways that you can build stick-to-itiveness or the ability to stay with a system is you can customize it. Hey, it's Walter here, and you're at the Think Profit podcast, where we're going to help you develop a rock-solid trading confidence and avoid the potentially endless cycle of system switching. Right, Hugh?
That's right. We're going to help you develop a wealth mindset, develop a trading strategy that fits your core personality, and help you overcome the obstacles that stop over 90% of traders.
All right, Hugh, sounds good. You ready to go?
Yeah, let's do this.
Hey, Hugh. So we have a question here from a trader, and the question is, what can I do to enable myself to stick to one strategy? How do I stick to one strategy? Because obviously, this trader is doing a lot of system hopping, jumping around, and the cycle of doom, as I like to call it, where you find a system, trade it for a while, give up, find another one, or modify the old one, trade it for a while, and so forth. So it sounds like this trader is kind of stuck in that. Do you have any thoughts on that one?
That's a classic one, right? Like, I think everybody's done that. Everybody knows what that feels like. And it's really tough to tell you to stick to one strategy because you probably won't do it. But if I had any tips, it would be something like, okay, just take one strategy and see it through to the end. So like test it out, back test it as much as you can on as much historical data as possible. And then if it has a positive result, then you can start forward testing that, put that in a small account or a demo account, and then you can move on to the next one. But you just have to realize, I think the bottom line is that if you hop between systems, you're never going to actually become a master at any of them. So I know it's really tempting to go to another system and try to get a higher return off of this other strategy. And this guy on your Google ads tells you that the strategy makes 10,000% and you want to hop to that one. But I think it really comes down to focusing on one thing at a time. And if, for example, you were a professional athlete, you're not going to try to do tennis and then become like an NBA basketball player, right? It's not going to work. So you just have to focus on one thing. So what would you say?
Yeah, I think you nailed it in terms of like, how do you build consistent or confidence, and stick to itness is really like the data is a big one. Another thing that's interesting, I'll tell you a story. So when I learned how to drive, my sister and we both learned on the same car. It was an old Dodge van, okay, and it had 3 on the tree. So you actually it was a manual, yeah. But it was on the steering column. It didn't have power steering. In fact, when my mom bought it, it just had one seat, like the driver's seat, and then we were in the back, and there was like a futon couch sort of thing that we would sit on, and my mom would go around the corner, and we'd all hit the wall, and then she'd go the other way, and what I mean? It was like, and it was carpeted on the seat, like inside. Nice. All the walls. Yeah, this is one of these 1970 specials, right? But my mom loved that van, right? Because it was useful. Like, she could put stuff in it if she needed to ship stuff, and it was good for the kids, like for us to learn how to drive in and stuff. It was hard though, like without power steering and learning how to shift and all that. It gave us a good foundation until my sister ran into a parked car with it. But anyway, it was funny. She eventually sold it. My mom eventually sold that van, and she saw the guy with the van, and he put like a padlock on the side of the door. It had like this sliding door, like those van doors, like Scooby-Doo's van, and he like bolted, like it was like a padlock, you know what I mean, on the door. And my mom couldn't believe it. She's like, that guy, he's modified that van and he's ruined it, in her mind, because she kept it like really like stock, like basically how she bought it, although she did eventually add a passenger seat. So this is kind of what happens in trading, right? I know for myself, like here's a book that I read when I started trading, or about 2002 or 2003. I read this book. It's called The Complete Trader. It's probably reversed there for you, by Jake Bernstein. And there's a system in there that I really liked, right? But I didn't like elements of it, like the exit in particular. I liked the idea and the logic behind it, but I didn't really like the way that he had the exit. And I found that it worked okay, but I thought it could work a lot better. And in trading, one of the ways that you can build stick-to-itiveness or the ability to stay with a system is you can customize it. So that guy that bought my mom's van, he customized it and made it his own, right? So he likes it more now because he's done, it's like when you move into a house, you change things around, you add things or whatever, modify things. And
I would say that for a lot of traders, you shouldn't be shy to do that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you should actually, you should embrace that. You shouldn't worry that, oh, well, my mentor or the guy on YouTube or wherever I learned the strategy in some book or whatever had it this way, so I have to trade it that way. That's not, I don't think that's true. In fact, you and I both know that some of the best, most successful and confident traders are trading something that they've developed on their own, or at least elements they've tweaked, you know? And so that's one thing I would say. If you are in this cycle of doom and you're doing this and you just can't stick to something, don't feel bad about customizing it. Don't feel bad about, you know, using something slightly different to what you learned or modifying it, because all that really is going to do is make that system fit your beliefs about the market more strongly. In fact, reason why I had this book here on my desk is because I'm going back and I'm looking at this strategy, and because I remember trading it, I remember actually making some money, and it was a big turning point for me when I was able to make a bit of money with this strategy. But now I'm going back and I'm modifying the exit and making it more of my own. And so who knows? Maybe I'll end up trading it. You know, I've done a lot of
stochastic pop.
Yeah, the stochastic pop. Yeah,
okay,
yeah. So cool. I'm adding like a 3-bar exit to it, basically, and I found that the 15-minute charts are really good, like right at London Open, you know, like trading stochastic pop at London Open with 15-minute. Like I found some of the 4-hour and 1 hour not so good, but if you, and 5 minutes a bit tricky because you get a lot of bad signals, but 15 minutes seems to be a really sweet spot. And then I just use the 3-bar exit, which I talked about, you know, in the Naked Forks book. I use a 3-bar exit, so I'll take some profit, and then, which is my typical, like, take some profit and then trail the rest. And it's great because that can be automated. You know what I mean? The 3-bar exit is automated, and actually the target is automated too. So it's really just about finding a really good stochastic pop entry, and then I can walk away. So it's something I'm testing now. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so that's an example, I guess, is what I'm saying is it's great to back test and understand, you know, what your numbers are and whether you're in the range of what's normal for, you know, if you're in a drawdown or whatever. But also it's great to have something that you've kind of tweaked to make your own, because then you're much more likely to stick with it.
Yeah, cool. All right, thanks, Walter.
Yeah. Thanks.
All information in this podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not trading or investment advice.